I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for being here. Seeing some unfamiliar faces, I'm going to just start out and read the typical rules of engagement for a community session. The purpose of the gathering is to hear from and converse with members of the public. Format is an informal discussion forum. The board president holds the authority to restrict the length of time or cease the conversation with any participant or on any topic of conversation. No predetermined agenda topics will be scheduled, yet some rules do apply. Employee personnel matters are considered confidential and therefore should not be brought up. Address the board as a whole, do not single out individual board members. No majority quorum of the board will be present. No official board actions will be taken. Decisions will not be made. Votes will not be taken. Official meeting minutes will not be taken. And with that, I would encourage our first guest to kindly step up to the podium and state your name.
You saved us. Awkward silence.
Well, someone's got to step up here. Thank you. You know, I've attended a few of these workshops now and the information sessions on the facility planning. And going into the last meeting, I thought, is it School Perceptions? The contractor had put together a very good survey, but by the end of a very long meeting, it looked like the decision to pull from the survey, there was a decision to pull information regarding the lowest cost option to combine the two schools for 142 million. And as Brenda pointed out, you know, that gets quite a bit of what we're trying to accomplish here. Could you just perhaps comment on why that was pulled from the survey?
That was my suggestion, and my rationale for encouraging that to be eliminated from the survey is, quite frankly, I don't believe that the 142 million allowed us to get everywhere we really should be. I think the 172 million would allow everyone under one roof assuredly. It would address many more safety and security concerns. It would eliminate excuse me. In general, I just felt that the level of renovation that would be taken into account with the 172 million was in fact where we wanted to be.
Please. I think the mill rate between the 142 and 170 was very minuscule as well. And I think that the way that it's going to be crafted, there's still the option on the table for basically just maintenance, which is really like the 53 million option. Or obviously an option that, you know, that I don't know what the public's going to say, that could mix every single one. So there still is kind of what I guess consider the lower common denominator that's actually lower than all of those, which is kind of continuing to maintain the status quo and ask for a referendum for maintenance, basically what we did last. That's still up. But yeah, the difference between the 140 and the 170 million is very, to Kim's point, yes, the 170 is going to get us at least close to where we need to be or where we want to be with the combining the two schools. The mill rate is almost negligible. So it kind of confused the topic. I know after a lot of debate, a lot of discussion, it just made more sense to have one of those things.
There is still an option for 153 million renovate both buildings. Question.
would also suggest that at the end of the day, one of the other additions that we did end up stressing was the prospects of a standalone survey question that included the school as well as the auditorium and pool. And at some point, I think the more alternatives that become very difficult on a survey to quantify and to inform ground becomes quite confusing. And so at some point, I felt that to have a starting point of here, we ended up changing the ending point with the addition of that full school plus amenities option that did, to some degree, call for a lessening of the kind of intermediary options.
I think survey respondents, what they lack is context, right? What does 153 million get us? What does 170 get us? What is a new school for 214? Or with all the, with an auditorium or a pool, it gets to what, 270. To date, from what I've seen in, researching, the state record for spending on one single facility is Neenah at 170 million. Right? Prior to that, it was Verona at, I believe, 142. So they're lacking the context of where does this fit, right? 270 million would be the largest school construction project ever seen in Wisconsin.
Absolutely. But perhaps it was not apparent to a number of the participants in the audience at that meeting last week. In fact, there is a very vocal group of parents and students and members of the public that also would like to have that option appear on the survey. And to some degree, to be able to accommodate that and have the community decide, I'm pleased it's in the survey. Sir, I didn't catch your name. I'm so sorry.
Rich Lessman's Rokas.
Oh,
Thanks for coming to the
yeah,
session.
thank you very much.
Maybe one other comment, just the research provided, what Neenah spent. I think it may be worthwhile to also see the time frame between that referendum that passed and their prior or their last referendum and the one before that. Think about the last time the referendum for a significant capital improvement for Arrowhead really dates back to, I think, 1999. I know we had small snippets just for a keep the lights on type of approach, but we'll also have to look at it from that standpoint. We're now pushing 25 years without any significant investment into the school, which kicking that can down the road means you have to kick it a lot harder, a lot further when the time comes to spend the money. And we're essentially paying for some sins of the past, and that 270 number is quite large for sure, but it also gets back into not doing it prior and being very conservative at that time, and now we're just looking at all of that. But I referenced some other referendums as well.
Plus, do you know the enrollment counts of Neenah? Because we're talking about a student body of 2,000 plus. I don't know what Neenah is, and I can't remember the other school.
I believe it's 2,000.
Neenah was 2,000.
Yep.
Was it K-12 or was it?
No, just single standalone high school. Yep.
Well, you're excellent at sharing.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that I can say, sometimes it's a little confusing when you use the term renovate. Like, what exactly does that mean to the average taxpayer? Because even when I read this, I don't know what that means. Question survey. Is that just the painting, carpeting, or are we actually changing classrooms to get larger, to accommodate more kids, or what? Does anybody know?
But it was explained
It
to
was-
us at one or two of the meetings, there was what they call light renovation and heavy
Right.
renovation. I don't know exactly what term was used or referring to here, Amy, but perhaps that would be helpful to clarify in the future. Light renovation meaning, carpets and paper walls. Heavy renovation meaning, move walls and restructure things on a very fundamental basis.
Yeah, but we don't say that.
No, and that may be,
So,
Because I think comments would be that comment from you later, BJS. The definition.
At the January board meeting when we presented the January 20th conversation, presented the definition of light renovation. I'll say, but light renovation that we said includes new flooring, new ceiling tile, new paint, cabinets and countertops, generally signs of man. New interior doors, not new hardware, swap out the hardware, new window treatments, new signage, glass, boardwalks, adding fire protection throughout, replacing the classroom sinks, new HVAC grills and diffusers, and new light fixtures that have all your benefits. Heavy renovation that incorporates all of that stuff, plus removing non-wearing walls, creating openings in wearing walls, wall framing, removal of exterior window openings and skylight monitors, new food service equipment, professional plumbing upgrades, replacing interior sanitary lines that was included in long-range capital maintenance, new HVAC equipment serving the renovated spaces, and new electrical low voltage serving.
I would assume a lot of that will be included in the there's an FAQ document that goes out along with the survey, and all that should be in the FAQ portion of the survey.
that's what people taking the survey go that far, but they're not just doing the questions. They won't fully understand what fully renovated.
Just want to stand up there. I'd like to clarify on the own side of things at least, because that was one of my comparisons to this. And you're correct, $149 million was construction. The overall price tag for that bill was $181.3 million. That included all the soft costs. So all these numbers that everybody sees tonight for reference, those include soft costs as well, all the design, engineering, FF&E, all of that stuff. So when we look at this, we got to make sure that we're comparing apples to apples for those things. And I'd like to say that Verona was recently built in 2018. We're in 2024 now. Seeing evidence in major places. So prices have skyrocketed since that 6-year period. So we had to factor that stuff in. Plus, factor in another 2 years because we're not going to get going right away. So unfortunately, this inflation really hurt everybody if you're trying to build. So it's kind of tough in the
Is there anyone else who would like to approach the podium?
John Norcross, parent of a student here at Arrowhead. We're on the other side of the election. By my count, almost $18,000 has been spent by the Republican Party, Waukesha County and West Red and 1776 Project PAC on school board candidates. That's up from $5,000 in 2022. It's a huge sum for this district. I still have not understood where or how some of the candidates have ended up on postcards. We have one here, Anne, if I can ask you, how did you get the 1776 Project PAC endorsement?
John, I think that the point of the engagement this evening is to address. the
It's a community conversation
It is.
with the board, and you're part of it too. I mean, I can ask the same question to you. How did you get their endorsement?
I will not address that right now. I didn't ask for their endorsement, Fran.
Wonderful.
I didn't ask.
Can I ask them, because we'll go to West Red. West Red's has been quite good at accounting for their support, in-kind support by the Republican Party. They're late with their reporting. How much in-kind support will we be expecting from them for you? Has Kelly Belt sent you an email with the numbers?
She has not.
Do you know what to expect?
I do not.
Anna?
I have no idea what that is.
Which red? How much in-kind support did you receive from,
I have no idea.
you have no idea?
I do not.
And they had not.
This is a
told you
community
how much-
conversation with the board, not with the audience.
This is a community conversation with the board. You're part of it. You're with us too. I've got your numbers. So,
Yep.
yeah, so this isn't breaking your rules, Chris.
Yep, you're.
So on a per candidate basis, spending has risen from $1,000 per partisan candidate to something expected to exceed 5,000. It's going to be higher once the WISRED numbers come in per candidate. At the same time, the win percentage is getting tighter. This is the lowest, tightest win percentage that we've seen. But this is not good, folks. This isn't good for our community to be spending so much money on school board candidate races. This is crazy. I don't see how this benefits anyone, and it's only going to be higher for the next one. And that's worrying. That is worrying. That is what I want to say. That is a very worrying thing.
Are you upset that the Democratic Party funded the school board race for Democrats in Elbrook? Not even supposed to be Democrat.
First of all, that you should check your facts on that one, because I don't believe that's the case. And I know people there, but I'm concerned about this school board. I'm concerned about this community, where we've only ever had conservatives on the board, Amy. Only conservatives on this board, and they've been purged by a party that says that they're not. Do you really feel that your opponent was liberal or far left?
Again, this is address the board, John.
I'm not, Chris. This is a community conversation,
It's a
and
community
you're part of it.
conversation with
You're
the
part of
board.
it. No,
With
with the community
with the
and the board. I don't know how to really explain a community conversation with the board, other than to say we're all in the room, we're all together. There is no rule that's being broken. So Amy, I'm concerned about this community. And did the Democratic Party fund any of the candidates here?
I don't know.
John, I have a question for you. What is the biggest concern you have?
I know, the biggest concern is that the cost of campaigning now is driving the cost to a point where people cannot easily compete and say, I'm going to drop $5,000, $8,000, $10,000 on a campaign. And against somebody who's being funded not out of their own pocket. That's entirely unfair.
So fairness.
That's- Fairness is one concern, but that is a big concern. It's driving people out.
What else?
The fact that we have a secret, non-transparent way of vetting candidates. No, to date, no one has told me who they were vetted by WISRED.
Just the voting record, perhaps?
No. Who spoke to you? Who said you're clear? We're going to endorse you. There's a vetting board.
Nobody spoke to me.
No one spoke to you. Who vetted you?
No one spoke to me. I have not been vetted.
We brought up the fact that we get questionnaires from both parties.
I've never been
You've
vetted.
got, that's fine. That's fine.
So my point is both parties are.
Both parties have reached out, but nobody does it quite like the Republican Party of Waukesha County. At
My
the
guess is
meeting
the
in
Democrats-
January
My
23rd.
guess is the Democrats are gonna catch up because they are starting to get funding.
Oh, I'm sure they are, but I can't speak for those communities.
I'm
They
just
said,
saying- I'm just saying
hey, the Republican Party spent all its money on our races. What do we do?
I think it's inevitable. I mean, they're starting to get involved with races, as you're aware, and you just pointed out.
Yeah.
Not saying it's the right or the wrong thing. It's just, people want to know who their candidates are.
But I don't know. We've got people claiming they're conservative. But I don't know that. To say you're Republican, therefore you're conservative? The Republican Party gets to tell us who's conservative and who's not?
You have valid concern. At the end of the day, I mean, it's just where we're at this day and time. But at the end of the day, there are other parties that are involved with this year. It is becoming more political, whether or not you like it or
You
not.
could say no.
Right?
You could say no.
Yeah.
You could say no.
Yeah, they could.
No one was asking for it.
Was it politics that informed our superintendent for the state of Wisconsin to politically, partisanly intervene in the Waukesha election? Was that politics?
I mean, we're mixing partisanship and politics. We've gone down this road,
No,
Kim.
It is both.
No, it's not the same thing.
It
It's not the same
absolutely-
thing.
It's not the same thing, but that intervention into Waukesha was indeed both.
It was political.
Yes, it was political. There's so many things that are political. But you haven't like got me on that one. Politics is ubiquitous. Partisanship is not. And you've taken other people's money to run under their banner, and they've run your campaign. They've sent out the postcards telling people that vote for conservatives, when apparently I don't think that they are. I don't think you are. It's a bad place. It's a bad place. And we've seen bad policy come as a result of it, unfortunately. But
In your opinion.
oh, it's, well,
Many people.
I think in many people's opinion, it's been very bad policy. And so anyway, it's getting more expensive. Those of you who are looking to run again, it's not your deep pockets that we're going into.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like some time before we run into our board meeting?
So if we don't have anybody standing up, I wonder if we might invite our past president, Kent Price, to talk a little bit about his passion project of the moment and show our board members that there's like that. Kent, would you mind telling us about what you've got going on and what's coming along at the end of June or May?
Yeah, happy to. I'm a Vietnam veteran. I volunteer at the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, aka the Wall of DC. I get up there about half a dozen times a year. I'm also involved with the Wall that Heals, which is a 3/4 scale exact replica of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall of Washington, DC. All 58,291 names on the wall. It is coming to Heartland. I was just in California all last week with it. It will be in Heartland, May 2012. Comes in on the 28th. The escort motorcycle escort in. It's set up on the 29th. On the 30th, we'll have the opening ceremony. And then once it's set up on Wednesday, the 29th, it will be open 24 hours a day around the clock until 2 p.m. on Sunday afternoon, June 2nd. It's an opportunity for, we're going to be having Gold Star family members at the wall. We will be having some pretty impressive speakers at the wall. We've got 2 retired general, retired admiral coming in. Probably will have all likely have one of the 63 Living Medal Honor recipients, Gary Wetzel, who is from Milwaukee, will be there. We have tours. We have a mobile education center. The travel with us, it's actually kind of like a museum. We offer tours. We've got so far we have about 450 students lined up for tours of the wall and the mobile education center. We have ad hoc tours throughout the day. You can sign up to volunteer. It takes about 200 volunteers to operate this thing from a standpoint of the setup itself. Volunteers operate it to talk to people at the wall, help people find people on the wall, answer questions, that kind of stuff. We have information test where we've got 2 people man that around the clock to help people questions and to locate a name. They will find somebody on the wall. It's a phenomenal opportunity. It's the only time it will be in Wisconsin this year. Okay, it was in Hawaii, January and February for the first time ever. We had about 22,000 visitors, which was phenomenal, about 3 times our normal visitor rate for the week that's on site. 100% donation based. It's owned by the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund, who owns the Vietnam Veterans Memorial at the Wall in DC. 100% donation based. There's no government funding. Our founder, Jan Scruggs, was a Vietnam infantry vet. Made to Congress to donate 3 acres at the National Mall of DC. They said, we're not going to give you any money. And he said, I don't want your money. We will take care of it ourselves. Raised $8 million in 8 months, $22 average donation. Got the wall built.
So if you have the opportunity, come see it, especially at night. It's lit at night from the top. It's phenomenal, an entirely different order than the wall in DC. In DC, there's a walkway that has small spotlights in the walkway, lights the walkway, doesn't really light the wall. This is lit from the top, okay? Takes on a kind of a golden hue. June is PTFD month, and color for PTFD month is teal. We're going to have teal filtered on the lights, Saturday night, June 1st. So it takes on just a phenomenal, outstanding appearance. There are 3 men from Heartland that are on the wall. One is a graduate of Arrowhead. 67 men on the wall from Waukesha County. 2 of them died on the 21st birthday. 1 died on Christmas. The Heartland Chamber of Commerce website has information about the wall, signing up to volunteer, sign up to have a tour. And there's information, there's a link to every one of those 67 men on the wall from Heartland. You can get information about them, see their picture, all that kind of stuff. There are 1,261 veterans from the state of Wisconsin on the wall. There is a link on there that will bring up those veterans in the state of Wisconsin. Okay. So there's a phenomenal amount of information right on the Heartland website. The Heartland Chamber is doing just a fantastic job of getting it out there. So, future family, friends, kids out there, our sole purpose of this is education about Vietnam War. Please visit, talk about those dates again. June, technically May 30th is our opening ceremony, but as of the afternoon of the 29th, once it's set up, which should be about 2 p.m., it's open around the clock.
Thank you for
2 p.m. on Sunday.
Thank you for letting us know, Ken. Thank you for your service
Thanks,
to our country and this board.
Thank you. Okay, with that, we will call our meeting to order. Please stand once again for the pledge of allegiance.